Because evaluation is seen as a tool, very often, nowadays, evaluation or evaluative thinking begins at the very onset, even in the pre-planning steps of a program, and continues throughout. And therefore, it really is considered a part of organizational learning. How you do the program and how you improve it so that it is as successful as it can possibly be. In the past, evaluation often, because of the factors that were listed before, was seen as a punitive relationship, kind of a gotcha, that the funders were looking for you to fail so they could take back their money. And therefore, very often, the program providers would feel that evaluation takes away time from the real work of running the program, and would often say that this is a luxury that they can't afford. In the past, evaluation was construed in very narrow guidelines, and so was the results, the data, was thought that to be statistical. It needed to be statistical in order to be valid. And that in order to be objective and useful, evaluation always must be conducted by outsiders. Contrary to this, nowadays, people are beginning to see evaluation as a problem-solving relationship, and really trying to understand what went right, what went wrong, what were the reasons, how could it be improved, how could the program be improved. Therefore, it is essential to the real work of the program, and it uses a variety of methods in order to be able to get the necessary data. Rather than thinking that evaluation always needs to be conducted by outsiders, there's better understanding that there are many tasks and roles of evaluative roles throughout a program, and that evaluative thinking and actions are everyone's job. So, before we go on, one might think, well, with this background, evaluation is something that everybody should do at all times, under all conditions. But I'd like to give for you to give some consideration to the idea that there are some times that you should hold back, and here are 5 good reasons not to conduct an evaluation. Don't do an evaluation if you really don't understand why you're doing it. If it's only for surface reasons, because it looks good, because don't do an evaluation if you can't figure out who the stakeholders are and who will be doing the work, who will play the key roles, including who will be the decision maker once you have the data. Don't do an evaluation if you have a strong hunch or you actually know that there's other information that can answer your questions. That really is duplication of effort and is not effective or efficient. Don't do an evaluation for someone who is mad, because then evaluation truly is a weapon rather than a tool. And don't do an evaluation for someone who already knows what they want or what they need the results to say, because then it either is a marketing tool or, again, a weapon. So if you decide to go ahead and to evaluate, here's a checklist of the kinds of things you need to consider before you start. Who are the intended users of the information? Think about that first of all. Are you conducting the evaluation to provide you, the program provider, with information that will help you improve the program? Is it to provide data to the funder to enable them to make decisions about whether they are getting the return on investment that they desired and whether they would wish to refund? Is it for a potential funder who, when they see the results, you can make the case for the next steps that you understand you need to take based on your previous experience? Is it to be used for marketing purposes, which is fine, but understanding what is it that the potential participants may need to know about? The decision makers and the information users must negotiate the precise nature and content of the evaluation. So, there must be agreement, for example, between the funder and the program provider about what the evaluation will ask and the kind of data that will be provided. If people go in with mixed expectations, that is a design for problems later on. The evaluation question or questions should really be clearly focused in terms of action, decision, and utilization. So know what you're going to use the data for in the beginning. Don't just go in and kind of putter around. There should be agreement about the methods and measures so that the stakeholders will find the data persuasive and not doubt it when they finally receive it. And the methods must be appropriate to the evaluation question being asked, so that sometimes in-depth answers about why participants appreciated or benefited from a program need to be asked in qualitative ways. Quantitative data will not be sufficient to be able to answer the question. And on the flip side, sometimes qualitative data may not be sufficient when people need hard numbers in order to be able to make comparative decisions. Of course, as in any form of research, the methods must be likely to yield valid and reliable data, meaning that it is meaningful and it measures what it says that it will. What does it take to do good evaluation? So going back to what we just covered, it takes consensus about what it is that you're looking for, about the goals. Stakeholders need to buy in and be committed. Even if you're engaging an outside evaluator, there's a lot of work that the program providers must contribute to conducting an evaluation in terms of time and information and resources. And without that commitment, the evaluation product will not be as useful as it could. And therefore, the funders need to buy in and make those resources available as well. There must be trust. Trust between the program provider or the funder and the evaluator. Trust between the evaluator and the data providers so that they really are able to get at true and objective answers. Expertise. There is a malacha, there is an expertise to conducting valid and reliable evaluation. And it's important to take advantage or to take advantage of those who have the expertise or to develop the expertise in-house. As I mentioned before, it takes human resources. No matter who does it, it takes time, it therefore takes money, and there need to be people to do the work. And therefore it takes financial resources. Finally, before you start, you really have to think how you're going to use the data. There needs to be a utilization focus. Evaluation is a form of research that is for utilization. And therefore, you really have to understand from the start what it will mean to have the data that you receive and what you will do with it. So, from the beginning, first thing you want to do is talk about the goals of your project, what you really want and need to know, who's going to get the results and who the audiences are, and therefore how you will use the information.